right, begin.
What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. I hope each and every one of you are doing well tonight. Now, before we get started, I want to ask you guys a favor. If you don't mind, go ahead and punch that like button and also smash that share button so we can get this channel recognized, you dig? And if you're on Instagram, go ahead and follow me there at NCTubTV so that we can stay connected. Now, with all of that said, let's go ahead and get down to business. And I want to talk about Miss Wendy Williams, right? Or Calvin Hunter, rather. They're both being messy in this instance, because you can definitely see that there's a dynamic shift in regards to how things are being ran when it comes to Wendy Williams, especially when you dissect how the last couple of weeks have gone. You know, Wendy created an Instagram account. Who's behind that? I believe that was Calvin Hunter. Of course, Wendy has associated herself with Calvin Hunter's lawyer, which means that Calvin and Wendy may not be bumping uglies, but Calvin definitely has reinserted himself in assisting Wendy when it comes to the business aspect of things. But anyway, reports have come out stating that Wendy is now taking control. She's taking control of the narrative and her path and things like that. Like I said previously, I believe that Calvin is taking control. But anyway, the reports are stating that Wendy fired a cease and desist at her former publicist, Howard Bragman, right? So guys, I reported the other day that Howard actually spoke out on the behalf of Wendy Williams without Wendy's permission. And so when Wendy got fired from her own show, let's call it what it is, because that's what happened. She got fired. Howard decided to speak out and say, hey, I had a conversation with Debmar Mercury and they assured me that if Wendy got her health back in order, that they had no problem with welcoming Wendy back to television. And so shortly after that, somebody posted to Wendy's Instagram story basically telling Bragman to be quiet, you know, keep your mouth shut. Nobody authorized you to speak on Wendy's behalf. And soon after that, it was announced quickly that Wendy had fired Bragman and also fired her long-term manager, Bernie Young. And so basically Howard Bragman came out later and said that he didn't believe that was Wendy behind her Instagram account, and basically said that he believed that Calvin was behind her Instagram account. And so here we are today, and they done sent that man a cease and desist. So it says here, Wendy Williams fired a cease and desist to her former publicist for speaking on her behalf after her talk show was canceled. The Sun has exclusively obtained a copy of the cease and desist sent from Wendy's legal team to publicist Howard Bragman, who has claimed to represent the 57-year-old TV personality since September of 2021. The legal letter was sent last week following Howard's statement purportedly on behalf of the host after the announcement of the Wendy Williams show's cancellation. In it, the former host's attorney demanded an immediate retraction of the statements which he had sent to multiple media outlets. Wendy's attorney, LaShawn Thomas, wrote in the cease and desist to Howard last week, I have been advised by Wendy that she has not authorized your office to make any statements on her behalf, and I ask that you immediately retract your statements from all media outlets. Additionally, Wendy advises that you are not her authorized representative, so I ask that you refrain from making any further statements on her behalf. Sources close to Wendy told The Sun that Howard, who has been posing as her publicist and crisis manager to multiple media outlets, was never actually hired by Wendy or on her payroll in any way. Wendy didn't hire Howard, and she never paid him. She and her team have no idea how he was brought on in the first place, and she certainly never spoke to him about releasing any statements on her behalf, a Wendy insider revealed. Wendy did, however, hire publicist Sean Zanotti of Exact Publicity earlier this year. Sean told The Sun there's a lot on the line right now. They knew I was here and they knew LaShawn was here. You can't put out a statement on someone's behalf with something that is so important, like the Wendy Williams show. It's Wendy's baby, and think that it's okay to do that. Wendy's new publicist released a statement about Howard following the Wendy Williams show cancellation. The statement that was put out by Howard was not in the best interest of Wendy. You wouldn't refer to your client's show as the Maybe Wendy show, which was shade directed towards Wendy. Howard initially released a statement saying it was on Wendy's behalf, but following the release, LaShawn sent a demand letter for a retraction of said statement due to the fact that he was not given permission to release anything or speak on her behalf. The publicist's statement also brought more to light about the Sun's report last week that Wendy had fired her long-term manager, Bernie Young. Wendy fired Bernie and LaShawn had nothing to do with the termination. Wendy told LaShawn about it after she fired him. The focus right now should not be on the public shaming of Wendy Williams or the production company making a decision from a business point of view. It should be on uplifting her while she is going through a very human experience. So please send your prayers and positivity to Wendy and her legal team, who have bigger fish to fry. The statement concluded. Howard has not responded to the Sun's multiple requests for comment. You know, when I hear that, right, I understand if Wendy doesn't know who Howard is, right, he has no business speaking on her, especially if she hadn't authorized anyone to speak on her behalf but her lawyers. I get that, but let me play devil's advocate. Does this man know something? Because they sent that cease and desist really quick. You know, he may not be Wendy's publicist, but for him to be able to reach out to these different publications and they actually take his word for it means to me that even if he doesn't have both feet, he at least has one foot in the game where people take his word for it, or they look at him as somewhat of a credible source. Now, my question is, like when DJ Booth, right, got fired from the Wendy Williams show, and he claimed to have all this information in regards to Wendy, and he was saying certain things, you know, planting little seeds about, you know, Wendy's health and, you know, the environment when working with Wendy. Why Wendy didn't send DJ Booth a cease and desist? But hey, I'm just asking a question, and in my opinion, it's a solidified observation. And with that said, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this whole entire situation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.